Oh my God, we just did everything we could to protect them.
Today, we are using Meghan Markle's own words as a case study to teach two key tactics of emotional manipulation: moral high ground hijacking and implied blackmail. When someone says they're protecting you, but their actions say otherwise, that's when you know the real game has started. In this video, you'll learn how polished language can cover manipulation, how to recognize it when you see it, and why this one sentence exposes far more than Megan intended. Let's get into it, but before we begin, here's the intro. Welcome to Revealing the Narc. Join me as I highlight narcissistic traits in celebrities and public figures. Everything here is in my opinion and not professional advice. If you enjoy the analysis, please like and subscribe. I'm doing research for a couple of videos that are coming up soon, and during that research, I stumbled upon this moment in the Oprah interview, and I wanted to analyze the specific words that Megan used, what they mean, and how everything she said was actually a lie. Along the way, I'm also going to give you examples that you may have experienced these things like moral high ground hijacking and implied blackmail in your own lives so that you can spot them and put a name to why you feel so uncomfortable in these types of situations. So, the full sentence Megan said is, "We did everything we could to protect them." Let's focus on this first part. We did everything we could. The surface meaning of this, it sounds like Meghan and Harry, because she's throwing Harry into this by using the word we, they were selfless, they were honorable, and they were protective of the royal institution. The purpose of it is that it flips the victim perpetrator role. Instead of being the disruptors or the attackers of the monarchy, which they clearly look like to the public during Megxit, Meghan is trying to paint herself and Harry as the noble saviors, the ones doing the protecting. It reframes their betrayal, such as public interviews, Netflix, lawsuits, everything we've seen, as a selfless act that only happened after endless restraint. This is called moral high ground hijacking, seizing the moral superiority even when your behavior contradicts it. I keep messing up when I'm saying this because it's high ground hijacking. But yeah, sorry if I messed that up. I'm gonna try to not do that. But basically, the steps of doing this is that you betray someone or a group of people, and then you pretend you're the one that saved them. I'm going to give you a few examples. The first one is a backstabber best friend. You have a friend who spreads your private secrets to everyone. Later, when you confront them, they say, "I only told people because I didn't want you to feel isolated. I was trying to protect you from worse gossip." The translation of this is they betrayed you, but their purpose in doing it was to save you. They were really looking out for you. It's like they knew what you needed better than what you knew you would need. The next example is a toxic boss. A boss quietly sabotages an employee's promotion behind the scenes. And when the employee finds out, the boss says, "I actually stopped you from getting promoted because I didn't want you to burn out. I was protecting your well being." Translation: they crushed your growth and they pretended it was an act of kindness. The third example is of a jealous sibling. So you have a sibling constantly bad mouthing you to your parents to make themselves look better. When they're caught, they say, "I just didn't want mom and dad to get their hopes up too high for you. I was trying to protect the family from disappointment." Translation: they rooted against you, but now they're the guardian of everyone else's feelings. The next example is of a manipulative partner. This is a partner who reads through your private texts without permission. When confronted, they say, "I only snooped because I love you and wanted to protect our relationship from betrayal." The translation of this is they violated your trust, but they claim they were defending it. And the final example is of a disloyal employee. So there's an employee who leaks sensitive company information to a competitor. When exposed, they say, I leaked it because I care about the industry. I didn't want bad practices to go unchecked. It was about protecting the greater good. Translation: they committed betrayal, but they spin it as noble whistleblowing. A quick pattern across all of these examples is that they cause harm, then they paint the harm as a selfless, noble sacrifice. It creates confusion because how can you accuse someone who only wanted to protect whatever entity it is? When the villain holds the victim's hand and calls it protection, that's when the real damage begins. Have you ever experienced any of these situations or something that's similar to it? Please, if you feel comfortable, share it in the comments and let's talk about it. Let's go to the second part of this sentence: to protect them. The surface meaning of this is that it sounds like it's an act of loyalty toward the family. It casts the royal family as vulnerable victims who needed protection. It implies they are weak, dysfunctional, or corrupt, and Meghan and Harry had to be careful not to expose them. This is a veiled threat. Harry and Meghan are saying, we know things we could have revealed, but we chose not to. It frames Meghan and Harry as having power over the monarchy because to protect someone, you must have something damaging to hold back. This is implied blackmail. Implied blackmail is when you threaten someone softly and pretend it's kindness. It heavily hints that they could hurt you if they wanted to, and you'd better appreciate their restraint. It sounds polite, but the real message is, I'm holding power over you, don't push me. Another way to think about this is, we could have destroyed you, but we were merciful. It's a threat plus self righteousness wrapped in polite language. Let's go into some fictional examples of implied blackmail. The first is of an estranged friend. After a bad falling out, a friend says, don't worry, I haven't told anyone what really happened between us. The hidden threat here is, I could ruin your reputation if I wanted to. You owe me for staying silent. The second example is of a toxic employee. During a performance review, a bitter employee says, I'm just glad I haven't shared certain things with HR yet. The hidden threat here is, you better tread carefully or I'm going to cause trouble. The third example is the manipulative partner. During an argument, they say, I could tell everyone what you said that night, but I won't because I still care about you. The hidden threat is, I have ammunition against you. You're lucky I'm being nice. The other side effect of this, or the other part of this that is also there, is, I'm only not doing anything. I'm only not revealing these secrets because I still care about you. So you better create situations that I continue to care about you. The fourth example is the rival coworker. After competing for a promotion, a rival says, it's a good thing that I didn't mention that incident from last year. I had your back. This is a hidden threat. They're saying, you owe me your silence and loyalty or else. And finally, the bitter sibling. In a tense family moment, they say, there's so much I could tell mom and dad about you, but I won't because I'm better than that. The hidden threat here is that your safety depends on their continued mercy. In Meghan's case, what she's saying is that we know things, we could have exposed you, be grateful we didn't. It's implied blackmail without ever using a threatening tone. And it's even more powerful because it's being used by Meghan by being disguised as compassion. The overall strategy here is that it recasts herself and Harry as noble martyrs. It implies that they have terrible secrets about the royal family that they could have exposed but didn't yet. And it keeps the door open for more attacks later. They're basically saying, we protected them. until we couldn't anymore. It's a threatening and morally inverted statement. The most dangerous threats are the ones that are dressed up as favors. Always pay attention to who claims to be your protector. Sometimes the loudest protectors are the first to sharpen the knife. Now, let's go behind the sentence because this sentence is being said in a broader context. For Meghan to say this is extremely hypocritical. I mean, just look at the situation. She's saying that we did everything we could to protect them on the Oprah interview. Like, I mean, I don't know how she still has people that believe her and are her fans. This is a direct lie. And let's talk about why that is. If you were truly protecting someone, you wouldn't go on global television and air out highly sensitive, unverified accusations about private conversations inside the family. You wouldn't heavily imply without confirming that a senior royal was the R word, setting off a worldwide media storm. And of course, they never actually specified who it was that they were saying is the R word, which then casts suspicion on everybody in the family. You wouldn't go on this show, on the Oprah show, and suggest that palace staff were cruel and negligent without allowing them a real chance to respond because they couldn't under royal protocol. You wouldn't portray the queen herself as somehow complicit by omission, even though you claim to personally like and admire her. You wouldn't expose private family conversations about titles, security, and future of children that were never intended for public consumption. You wouldn't license Netflix, Spotify, and book deals immediately after the Oprah fallout, financially capitalizing off the pain and revelations you supposedly shared out of necessity. You wouldn't allow Harry to trash Charles and William in subsequent interviews, again, painting the family as cold, uncaring, the R word, further fueling narrative that she now claims that she was trying to protect them. You don't protect someone by dragging them in an international scandal, accuse them of the R word without proof, and then profit from the fallout. That's not protection. That's a public relations ambush disguised as a cry for justice. When someone says they protected you but burned your reputation for the world to see, believe the actions, not the words. While doing the research for this video, I started thinking about what came after the Oprah interview. And I have three things that I want to share with you. The first is Gayle King mentions that she has receipts. This is contradicting the "we protected them" claim because why gather and publicize that receipts are there unless you're planning for war? Let's watch that clip.
Say Meghan has documents to back up everything that she said on Oprah's interview.
Gayle here is acting as Meghan's mouthpiece, and she's saying Meghan can prove things if pushed. Don't challenge her, or she will release more. The second thing I want to talk about is how shortly afterwards, Meghan says that she never signed an NDA with the royal family and she can speak anytime. And you can see this in this article that was published in September of 2023. The article is in the Mirror and it says Meghan Markle made thinly veiled threat to royals just days before late Queen's passing. Just days before the sad passing of the late Queen, an interview with Meghan Markle was published where she talked about her former royal life and how she'd signed nothing to keep her from talking about her experience. In the interview, she revealed how she did not have to sign an NDA when she and husband Prince Harry sensationally quit as working royals in 2020. She also told them how she found a journal that she had kept during her time as a member of the firm at Frogmore when she returned to the UK for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebrations last summer. Okay, my mind is blown here. The kindness of the royal family to not force her to sign an NDA, and this is how she repays them. She uses it as a threat, and then she reminds them, there's a journal I have, there's details that I've kept. The article then says she tellingly said, "It's interesting. I've never had to sign anything that restricts me from talking. I can talk about my whole experience and make a choice not to." When asked by the interviewer why she hasn't indulged anyone about her true experience, Meghan replied that she was still healing. She continued, "I think forgiveness is really important. It takes a lot more energy to not forgive, but it takes a lot of effort to forgive. I've really made an active effort, especially knowing that I can say anything." This is exactly the same type of statement that she made in the Oprah interview clip that I showed you. She has not grown from March 2021. I mean, we knew she was like that before too, but this is just further evidence that she is, in her mind, holding something over the royal family's head. Now, we don't know what that is, but regardless of what it is, Meghan thinks it's something that will control their behavior. Otherwise, she wouldn't keep consistently saying this over and over and over again. And let's not forget that just a couple of months ago in the CBS morning show, I forget which one, but the one with Jane Pauley, I may have this date wrong, so apologies if April 2024 is not the right date, where she makes another statement like this to Jane Pauley. Let's watch that.
I believe part of our healing journey, certainly part of mine, is being able to be really open about it. And I haven't really scraped the surface on my experience.
It's truly sickening behavior. I don't recall right now, but I think she said something along these same types of lines, these same types of implications, and With Love, Meghan in the first episode. And apologies, my memory is not working right now. So let's end this video, and I'm going to give you the key patterns so that you can spot this in your own life. This is the key message of this video. First thing that they'll do is they'll hint they have receipts. Then they remind you they chose not to speak freely, but they could. Then they might reveal that they kept journals or any other type of evidence. Then there may be some flying monkeys, friends and allies that suggest there's more to come. And in this example, we saw Gayle King do exactly that. This is textbook implied blackmail. And in Meghan's case, she has been stretching it out over years. So I'm curious to know what you all think about this. I don't know if you can tell, but I was incredibly angry preparing for this video and making this video because this actually really demonstrates Meghan's malignancy. And I've said before that Meghan is a malignant narcissist, my opinion. And I say that because she behaves exactly like my stepmom. And this thing is something straight out of my stepmom's playbook. I'm curious to know what you all think about this. Please, if you feel comfortable, drop it in the comments. If this video was interesting to you, please like and subscribe. Share it with your friends if you think that it might be helpful to them and situations that they may be facing. Hit that notification button so you'll know every time I drop a new video. I want to thank you all so much for listening, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye, everybody.